Me. We'll find out in a minute. Go live. I'm not the host.
I promised I would host. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Passion of the Nerd 10th anniversary celebration. I am Lani Rich. I am Ian's wife, and am very, very excited about about doing this here today. So, okay, let me do that. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming by and showing up for this. I basically said to Ian, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago, that I was like, hey, the 10th anniversary is coming up. This is a big deal. We're gonna do a thing for it. And he's like, I don't want to do a thing for it. And I was like, well, too bad you're gonna. So here we are today. And Jack and I have been working on putting this all together.
I'm I'm already horribly uncomfortable. I
I know. I'm sorry. I just feel that 10 years is a big deal, and 1 hour of discomfort so that people can celebrate you and the amazing work that you've done.
Yep.
Like I'm being pushy about it.
All right. Well,
It's gonna be okay, Ian. It's gonna be okay.
Let me take something away.
I'll take away your bucket.
Now I feel.
Did it just get hot in here?
Now I feel better. I got to do a thing.
You got to do a thing. Yes, absolutely. Well,
Hi, Harris. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, everybody.
We've been working on a little surprise that Jack put together. And I helped him with. So maybe we should just start with that, Ian?
Yep. Ian has no idea what's about to happen.
He doesn't know what's going on. He just knows that there's a video. So
All right, switching over. Can you guys give me some sound? And everyone in chat, let us know how the sound levels are. When I say you guys give me some sound, I mean
I'm sorry.
How's that?
Yes.
All right.
Can you hear us? Are we all good?
All right, here we go. So you guys in the stream, this is I appreciate your patience with all of we're very impromptu on this. You guys in the stream are going to be looking at the video that I'm watching, and the three of us are going to 3, 2, 1 play so that they stay in sync with. Thank you, Cindy. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. This looks very familiar so far.
It should.
Hey, Ian. Okay, so here's the thing. I kind of asked everybody to send us little video clips so that Jack and I could make this video for you on your 10th anniversary of Passion of the Nerd. And I didn't tell you about it. And I know that it means that later we're going to be like having a discussion, but I knew you wouldn't let me do it. And I really wanted to give everybody the opportunity to express their love and affection for you and give you their congratulations. So I'm just going to ask you to like sit there and just take it. There's just a lot of love that's going to be coming at you in the next few minutes. And we can have that talk later. I love you. I'm so proud of you. This is an amazing thing that you've done. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew that.
Hey, Ian.
Hi, Lauren.
I just wanted to say, in case it wasn't obvious, that I am a huge fan.
Firstly, I just want to say congratulations on 10 years of making the most brilliant videos, the episode guides, Buffy analysis that you find anywhere.
I just want to message you and say congratulations on passing the 10-year mark on the Passion of the Nerd channel.
Congratulations on 10 years. It's amazing.
Hi, Josh.
It's also wild to think about that. It's been 10 years since 2014.
Congratulations, Ian, on 10 years of Passion of the Nerd.
Hello, Poppet. It's me. Wow. 10 years of Passion of the Nerd. That is simultaneously crazy and awesome.
You just hit the 10-year anniversary of Passion of the Nerd. 10 years of in-depth analyses, episode breakdowns, and endless Buffy and Angel goodness.
Congratulations on 10 years of Passion of the Nerd. That's an amazing commitment to the project.
Hey, I want to congratulate you on 10 years of Passion of the Nerd.
We just want to say we love you and congratulations on 10 years after quitting your job to pursue your dreams of being a content creator.
I am a vocal fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which for a few reasons is an unexpectedly difficult job. Really, there are only a couple of first season episodes you need to watch. But if you do go that route, I'm working on an episode by episode guide, which should be up here soon, if I don't get an attack of the lasers. No, I'm not doing this one. It doesn't need a guide. My analysis is it's terrible. There, done. Just don't watch it and get on with Wait, is this the first episode she's in? Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's terrible. Oh, this scene's great. Oh, this scene is great. Oh. Okay, I love it.
Secondly, I just want to say thank you for putting together this sort of Buffy community where people, nerds like me, can come and talk about this thing that we all love, where I feel so comfortable.
When I found your channel 4 years ago, I knew I had found something special.
It wasn't that long ago, or it doesn't feel like that long ago, that I stumbled on this YouTube channel that was reviewing Buffy season 2, and I was listening to this smooth, buttery-voiced American man, and now look at us.
And what's more, not only have you created a series of video essays that all aim to be informative, well-researched, and bring something new to the discussion which, given the cultural significance of Buffy, cannot be easy, you've also created something even more wonderful, and that's a community that is equally as amazing, and I have loved being part of the Hangouts with for the last year and a half.
I do remember I found your channel in a particularly difficult time in my life, and it became something that I look forward to new releases from you on a regular basis, but I was also just devouring all the content that you had out there already. And when I discovered that you had these opportunities for greater interaction and stuff like that, I jumped at the chance.
It has been an honor and a joy to be a part of your channel.
I have always been amazed over all the years that I've known you about how you can so consistently create content that ends up inspiring people and making a difference and making them think about their lives in the context of the media they consume and understand the deeper meanings of the things that touch us from an artistic standpoint.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is the patron hangout discussion of Once More with Feeling.
I'll just sort of, this is more of an opinion thing than sort of speaking concretely about anything, but I think that Angel's turn in season 2 was sort of more of a surprise.
So here's how I personally interpret what's going on. The soul is the metaphorical conscience of the characters, but within the lore is specifically the seed of identity. The title is also interesting, as ever, working on multiple levels. There's the literal introductions of Faith Lahane, Scott Hope, and Mr. Trick. There's also the faith that Buffy shows in Faith, which helps her to slay Kakistos, Buffy's renewed hope for the future, and the trick that Giles plays on Buffy with the non-existent binding spell, which I consider a devious act of fatherly love. After all, the episode title itself is a wordplay on Corinthians 13:13, and now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. And let's not forget Sart.
Sometimes you don't have a choice. Well, you do have a choice. This isn't good for you.
If you believe that one choice you have takes undeniable precedent over another, then you have made yourself an object in the world at the mercy of its circumstances. Now, Xander's willingness to be the first victim of Willow's cataclysm, as long as he gets to spend his last moments with her, represents an act of unconditional love. Happy and meaningful life, that they're not mutually exclusive, but yes, a balance between the two of them. And so, in the last year or two, I've kind of been going, oh, okay.
You are happier now than I've ever seen you, and it's amazing to see.
Your dedication, your passion for the source material, your authenticity,
Everything that you do, everything that you put into your craft is what makes this channel what it is and makes 70,000 subscribers come back again and again.
And I remember one time while you were doing an editing live stream, I left a comment while you were editing, and you went, "Oh, that's a good idea. Thanks, Jay Goss." And I was like, "Oh my God, the Passion of the Nerd noticed it. Oh my God." And just, over the years, as the channel has continued to thrive and be a fun refuge for a lot of folks, I've stuck around and I've gotten more involved, and you and I have actually gotten to meet each other and become friends, and I'm just very happy for you. I'm very glad that this continues to be something that brings you joy and continues to be a way for you to bring other people joy.
Your videos are thoughtful, meaningful, funny, and really speak from the heart.
I'm proud of you because you make people smarter and you make them kinder, not only to other people, but kinder to themselves. And there is no greater gift than you can give someone than that.
In the video for Somnambulist, I mentioned our tendency to surround ourselves with people who are mirrors of who we are.
I don't have a reflection, so I'm sure you do. I do. You're reflected in the people around you.
In the episode's final standoff, Angel is trapped between two reflections of himself, his ugly past, and Kate, his potential just future. And here, in this episode, Wesley steps into the shoes of the man he sees Angel to be, and in doing so, finds himself. There are a lot of us who can give love freely, except to ourselves, because of the catalog of memories we keep in our heads that we've interpreted mean something awful about us. But while the memories may be true, there is no truth in the interpretation. There is just what you believe, and then what you choose to do after. Sisyphus was a man condemned by the gods to push a rock up a hill. Just before reaching the top, the rock would roll back down to the bottom, and Sisyphus would go and get it. Forever. And here, at the top of a hill in Sunnydale, Angel's rock has rolled back down to the bottom, and he has the choice of whether or not to go and get it, or to stand at the top and watch the sunrise. Camus' answer was to embrace the absurdity that arises from being an entity who hungers for meaning in a meaningless universe, and to continue the hunt for it regardless. By embracing things as they are, we free ourselves from the despair over how things are not. In acknowledging the absurdity of seeking meaning by continuing the search regardless, one can be happy, gradually developing one's own meaning from the search alone. So of Sisyphus, Camus wrote, "It is during that return to go and get the rock. It is during that pause that Sisyphus interests me. That is the hour of consciousness. At each of those moments when he leaves the heights and gradually sinks towards the layers of the gods, he is superior to his fate. He is stronger than his rock." In his conclusion to the myth of Sisyphus, Camus said, "It happens that melancholy rises in man's heart. This is the rock's victory. This is the rock itself. The boundless grief is too heavy to bear. But crushing truths perish from being acknowledged. The struggle itself towards the heights is enough to fill the human heart."
So here's to you, Ian. Congrats on 10 years of Passion of the Nerd. May you and your channel continue to geek out over the best vampire slayers and brooding vampires in TV history. Cheers to making it possible for your followers to be seen and heard. And who knows, maybe in the next decade, I'll finally watch an episode. Maybe.
So here's to 10 more years. We're looking forward to every minute.
So congratulations and happy anniversary. And I hope that you enjoy another successful 10 years. Or however long you wanted to keep doing it. 20? 30? Who knows?
You're truly an amazing creator, a great friend, a really good man. And while you still haven't convinced me to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you might have another 10 years to try. I love you, buddy. Congratulations.
We love you, and we're so proud of you.
And here's to many more successful videos, reviews, and hangouts. Thank you for what you have done. It truly means a lot to me, and it introduced me to podcasts such as yours. Again, 10 years you've been doing this. Congratulations, my friend.
I love you, brother. Happy anniversary, and I look forward to the 20th anniversary. Love you.
It was around that time I first discovered the show, and for a few months, the show became my reason to get up in the morning. I had to know what happened to these characters I was falling in love with. I never begrudged myself that. Hope is the light on the horizon. And if Buffy was the only star in my sky for a few months, well, then I was grateful. And when it was over, I started the series from scratch that same day. Something I didn't expect was happening. Witnessing the struggles of these rich, beautiful characters was helping me find and patch some of the leaks in my own life, to the point where the ship had stopped sinking farther down. And when I finally made the choice to get myself into therapy, the first thing I asked the therapist was, "Do you believe a broken machine can fix itself?" And he said, "Yes, if you hold a mirror in front of it so it can see what's wrong." Always remember, there are things worth fighting for, and you are one of them.
Oh my God. Jack has gotten me with that video. We've reviewed it like 4 times over the last week. And every single time.
I cried editing the freaking thing. I feel like I want to cry now.
I know.
Thank you, everyone. Lady Eternal, Russell, Toby, Jack, Lani.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, thank you, everyone. That was Josh. There are yeah. There's no words. I appreciate it.
All right. So to keep you from being
Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot. I switched the thing.
Oh. Can anybody hear us?
I switched the scenes and all the buttons all went off at the same time, including the Riley sex face.
That's perfect. That is so on brand. I love it.
And now it's one of our streams.
I love it. I love it. All right. So we're going to get started with just a couple of questions, not try to, make this go on too long for Ian's sake. But thank you, everybody, so much for showing up tonight. Everybody who contributed to the video. Toby and I are best friends now, so I'm very excited about that. That has been a really fun thing here. I've sort of tears coming in my eyes. All right. Anyway. So one of the things that I wanted to start with is actually a question for everybody here. And I'm going to start with Jack and make Jack answer this question.
Okay.
How did you discover Passion of the Nerd? And so people, if you want to put your answers in the chat, but I wanted to talk to Jack and find out about how this happened.
I wish I could remember the exact moment, but I don't. However, so I've told this before on stream, but I watched all of Buffy like season 1 to season 3 while it was airing, and then season 4 onwards it changed to a different time slot, and my life was all over the place at that time, so I didn't get to watch all of the college seasons. Then I mean, Ian, if you've been going 10 years, it'd been more than 10 years ago now that I actually gone a hold of the entire series, and I watched it all from start to finish. And I had this feeling of like, there's a lot going on here. Like there is a lot going on here, and I feel like some of it is going over my head. So I got on YouTube and I looked for Buffy reviews, and at that time it was very sparse. I stumbled on this one dude who was like, he did a video and he's like, yeah, that Cordelia chick is really hot. I'm just like, oh, this is not what I, no, this is not what I wanted. But then Yeah, I stumbled on Ian. I don't remember the exact moment. I do remember that it was season 2, and I just fell in love instantly. And then because I'm a really egregious fanboy, I found a way to contact Ian, and I was like, "Oh my God, I love the videos!" And then we sort of talked back and forth for a couple of months, and then this all happened, and now we're here, and it's crazy actually. Like my life can be split up between before and after Ian, and it's just the difference is huge. And yeah, Ian, I've said this so many times, but you really have changed my life, and I really can't put into words how much of an impact you have had on me. Lani, same question.
Well, what's funny is that like I was doing Buffy podcasts, and so we like had mutual fans, and somebody, and I can't find the original tweet, but I'm pretty sure it was on Twitter. It was on some social media where somebody had tagged both me and Ian. And I had seen some of the videos before because I kind of, I love Buffy. So I checked some stuff out and I had kind of an awareness of who Ian was. But then somebody tagged us both, I think, in a tweet. And then I DM'd him and I was like, yeah, hey, let's do a thing. Let's work together. Let's do some kind of collaboration. And then we started chatting regularly, like in Discord, and I'd be at work, and Ian would just pop in and just be like talking to me. And I had a job that didn't require a whole lot of me, so I had a lot of time to talk back. We would talk about our experiences, doing Buffy content and all of that. And so because of that, I started watching the videos. And so what I would do is I would listen to them, and I know that's because his editing is so fantastic, but I had a 2-mile walk or a mile walk from my parking space to my office. And I would listen to the Passion of the Nerd videos while I was walking, and I would come into my office crying, and people would wonder what was wrong with me. And then
Been
I'd
there.
go in and I would send him a message, and I'd be like, you son of a bitch. Um, and so that's how our friendship started, and that's how I got into the content. But I just like, and still like, I'll watch these clips that you pulled out, Jack, so beautifully for that video. And I'll hear them again, and I just get so touched by them, even though I've seen the content. I live
Yep.
with the creator. Like, it's just, but he's still like, his work will still deeply touch me no matter how many times I interact with it.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think that that's just such a special quality. And well worth celebrating 10 years.
Absolutely.
There's many more fart jokes in the live show. Which, speaking of, like, obviously, I know when I came by Passion of the Nerd, but that Toby talked me out of my first name for the channel.
What was that?
Which was,
I don't think I know this story.
Which was brain flatulence.
Thank you, Toby.
Wow.
So everything comes full circle at some point. Is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Toby was right. Always one of the things that I
absolutely.
love the most about Toby. Toby is a very good friend of Ian's. And whenever I would say something to Ian, I would give him advice, especially early in our relationship, our friendship. He would ask me for advice and I would give him advice. He'd be like, yeah, that's what Toby said. And I was like, I like Toby. Toby's cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of Toby telling me the truth and me not wanting to hear it, and so me trying to find a different opinion, and you confirming what Toby said made me go, okay, I guess.
Thank God.
I guess Toby was right.
Toby, right? Thank God. Yeah, it took you a while to sort of warm up to Passion of the Nerd, right? You didn't like it at first. Is that
well? True? It's too clever. I mean, it's not anymore. Like, I didn't like how clever it was, and my idea was Passion of the Christ was the torture of Jesus, and so the idea of Passion of the Nerd, I like the double meaning of these are the things I'm passionate about, and oh, I'm such a nerd, and I'm just like, there was suffering for all these things and all of that, which made me laugh. But I was afraid at the time too that I was going to offend people for that choice in SEO, and then the culture shifted quite a bit, where I don't know, when I started, I don't even just 10 years ago, which feels like friggin' nothing. You know, Red Letter Media's content was kind of comedically cynical, but other than them, I don't think there was a lot of, like, the culture hadn't shifted negative to the degree, like, there's so much popular content that is popular that are sort of popular takedowns, angry rants, and all of that. And I don't know that I would have named the channel the same, which was what I was kind of satirizing with Passion of the Nerd, suffering for all these things I care about, man. And you know, now it's just probably the literal interpretation of it is all it is. Now it's just me, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I loved my favorite part was the first 5 years before doing any streams, when people would just like, hello, the nerd. I had a question for you. I really,
hey, nerd.
I still don't like being on camera, but anyway.
All right. So Buffy is such a huge cultural touchstone. And I mean, without Buffy, you and I never would have met.
Right.
And I love that, you know, it has been so powerful in so many people's lives. But you did a lot of, you know, content. You've done a lot of things that aren't Buffy. And yet Buffy seems to be the thing that kind of like struck the chord for you. Now you had some stuff that you had done before Passion of the Nerd, like you had the viral Anaconda video. You know, you had something. What made you decide that you were just going to dedicate yourself to Buffy?
Well, that was an interesting question. I think what it is it's just like, I'm someone who is never finished. Like we've been talking in the other streams about, like, we talked about Billy recently, and Wes at the end of Billy saying to Fred, I don't know what kind of man I am. And that is a deeply resonant idea for me. The idea of never being finished, you know, being in motion, trying to understand yourself, seeking compassion and wisdom and all of that. And there's certain things that you could talk about, like the show, because of the nature of the metaphor and the way everything is set up, just kind of provides the ideal forum for that examination through fiction, which is what the whole channel is about. You know, I have lots of favorite things. I love Justified. Timothy Oliphant is, you know, there's like, my like media figures are like my like daddy issues. Like, I'm like, oh, Jean-Luc Picard. I wish he would just tell me what to do right now, right? Like, so my favorite characters from media are like daddy issues. The people you see yourself, like Xander, obviously, I see a lot of myself in that character, and then the ones that you want to be. And Justified, Timothy Oliphant is like, oh my God, I would love to be that guy. But I have nothing to say about, I don't do reviews. And so the idea of just, this episode's good. It's what you put in the video about Becoming Part 1, I think it was. Oh, this scene's great. Oh, this scene is great.
It's great.
Look at this scene. It's so great. Like, but in examination, I mean, taking a story and sort of saying, at what point in my life did I experience something similar to this? And then how can that inform what I have to say about it? To me, is the secret sauce that is the identity of the channel. And I've said it before a number of times. I figured that out in I Only Have Eyes for You. Talking about that episode unlocked for me when I realized that the reason why Buffy identified with the murderer, with the ghost, was because she was having trouble forgiving herself, which was a journey that I was going through at that point in my life, and feeling that connection to the character and being able to speak about it in a way that hopefully was resonant for other people who were feeling similar, to me it's like, why would I want another experience besides that?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Next
Jack, you had some. Yes, Jack had a good question for you.
Yeah, I wrote it down. Let me, because I can't remember it exactly. Now I remember. How do you think the work has evolved over the years, and what do you think has brought about those changes? When I was cutting the video, I was looking at the older stuff and the newer stuff, and it's very different, very, very different.
Well, when I started doing it, there was kind of a mandate. I think they'd even done statistical studies that YouTube views fall off after 3 minutes. And that's changed over time. The way people watch things changes over time. And by the way, I am reading what y'all are putting in chat.
Yeah, we are reading.
Yeah. And I'm probably gonna watch this again just so I can read everything you guys said. I really appreciate it. But the way people watch YouTube videos has changed, and obviously, with the funny part is, like, TikTok is sort of changing them back the other direction. But the early on, it was sort of like, if you don't, in my head, I had it in my head that if you don't wrap up at 3 minutes, then you're going to be losing people anyway. And I also didn't have a sense of, like, why are people watching me? Like, what do I bring to the conversation that is of any interest other than jokes? You know, the Master's Cave looks like a leftover set from a Meatloaf video, and then cut to I will do anything for love. Which in the early seasons too, there wasn't as much for me to say. The early seasons aren't really my favorite. And then Prophecy Girl was nearly 10 minutes long and featured a self-indulgent montage in the beginning of it that I dared put into the video about, like, because I didn't believe I'd get to the end of season 1. Can you imagine in 10 years when we're talking about I'm almost done with season 7? Like, that's going to be the montage.
Crazy.
That's going to be the montage to end all montages.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of people just hung in there, and there were negative comments about this video was too short. And I often cut and trimmed for pacing, but I never set out to, like, add more. It's just, as there were more and more things to say, you know, I never thought that what's the Riley Goes Away episode?
Into the Woods.
I never thought that would be the magnum opus of the channel. Yeah. What are the two most operatic videos of the channel? Into the Woods and The Body. One of those is not like the other. But anyway, yeah, things just change over time. The other thing that changed over the time was me. I have to admit that when I was drinking, it was much easier to sort of mute and dull the ADD and the distractions, and to, you know, and to just get in there and crank and work. And you know, that's more challenging now, at least when it comes to writing, which is why again, I was so gratified to hear Tim Minear talk about how much he hates writing. So things have gotten slower. Good God, life has changed. Life around the channel has changed. So, it's just in a different place.
Cool.
Like it. All right. So everybody in the stream, the next question for y'all is, what is your favorite Passion of the Nerd video? Jack, I'm going to give you just a quick minute so you can think about it. I'm going to come to you for your answer. And in the meantime, Ian, what is the biggest surprise to you after 10 years of doing this? What is something that the channel has done for you, or that you've experienced doing it that has been completely unexpected?
Well, I think it's the community. The begrudgingly, I think, I don't know if Nathan is here, but the very first live stream that we did, I was so nervous I had to not rewatch the very first get together we did, which I think was for Patreon. I drank a bunch of wine because I was so horribly nervous. Two people showed up, and we just talked. Nathan was one of them, and I'm sorry I don't remember the other, the woman that joined us. But it never occurred to me that, what was that, 5-6 years ago? Not only like would that continue to happen, but I would grow to enjoy doing it and talking to people, and that we would have people like Russell and Lady Eternal and Sarah E, Sarah C, so many people that have been coming back for years now. That it the internet is so horrible in so many different ways, but the three people sitting here know each other and met on opposite sides of the country and the world because of like community on the internet, and the community of the Patreon streams and getting to know people in the chats and all of that has been, I'm not a very outgoing social person. There's a very small inner circle, and that's about it. So like this whole idea of community and connection and the way we all have over the channel and the shows has been completely unexpected. So much so that we're in season 6 now, and I'm like, what are we gonna do when it's done? Because we've been doing this for years. I don't mean the channel, because obviously the channel is going to be going for a long time. I'm just talking about like the hangouts and the get-togethers. It's such a crazy thing. That was wholly unexpected. The other thing too is at the end of the body, I said a thing about Jim, that I said that maybe the greatest thing that I could say about him is the imagined version of him gives me a kindness that I struggle to give myself. And I like, I beat myself up and there's a lot of anxiety and struggles and stuff like that over the work and not getting the work done fast enough, and now having we're doing things for family, and that has required making other choices and all of that. And so like what is predictable to me is the negativity, is the well, I guess the channel's dead, or you're giving up on this, or where's the next, like there's how quickly certain people feel like they're owed something for free. That is hours and hours of bloodletting and work. But what is not predictable to me is whenever I'm expecting that hit and the outpouring of people that say, take all the time you need and we'll be here and all of that. The generosity of spirit and stuff like that in this community in particular has always taken me by surprise.
Oh, that's a perfect answer. I love that.
Yeah,
And
it
yeah,
is.
this community has been so fantastic. And I've really loved being able to kind of like slide into the DMs of this community, marrying marrying the guy at the top. Jack, do you have your favorite Passion of the Nerd video?
I I think I do. But yeah, this community is incredibly kind, which is so rare for the internet. Like it's crazy
Mhm.
just how many kind people there are here. And yeah, I've got so many friends in my life now than I wouldn't have if it wasn't for this channel. So yeah. But okay, gun to my head, I have to pick a favorite video. It would be, I mean, I really love Lie to Me, but it's got to be amends. That guide changed me in a very fundamental way, and I truly mean that. I have always thought like an absurdist since I was a teenager, but I didn't know what an absurdism was. I saw that video and I was like, hey, that's me. Um, and then because of that, I was able to explore this philosophy, and it was the thing that really got me into philosophy. Yeah, I still that's probably the video that I've watched the most. I've watched that probably dozens of times. I've cried to it dozens of times. But I also got to give a special mention to Guys Will Be Guys, because obviously that video was dedicated to me, and it resonated with me a lot and still does, because it was, it was speaking to a lot of stuff than I was dealing with at the time, and you did that on purpose, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, if the formula for the channel is me examining a story through the filter of my own problems, the Guys Will Be Guys one was me examining the story through the filter of Jack's problems.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And for those who
with
who
your
don't know,
permission, I hope.
I mean, you kind of. For those who don't know, I didn't know that dedication was coming. We did a premiere, and Ian and I were in a video call together watching the premiere, and the last like 2 minutes, I'm like crying because of all the stuff I got going on and what Ian's saying, and then the dedication pops up, and I just broke. I was completely just like, wow. Yeah, so those probably, yeah, those are three. But I mean, Full for Love is great. And there's just little moments I love. Like I love the Wesley intro. The bit is, it's either 5x5 or Sanctuary, when they're falling out under the window in slow motion and the mares cut over the top. Dude, you're a master at what you do, and you make me feel all of my feelings, and I love that so much. Yeah. Lani.
Yes. Oh
Um,
gosh.
yes.
I have to say, like, it's interesting because I get to experience, and for the last couple of years, I've gotten to experience all of these videos like from jump. Like
Yeah.
he will
Same.
read sections of a script to me, and then we go over the scripts before he records them for the thing, and then he'll throw ideas out at me, and we'll bounce stuff off. And so it's been really neat to be able to kind of like watch the whole process happen and be a part of it. But I think like, and I'm very gratified too, because like I love all of them, and like Amends was very meaningful to me. Amends was one of the first things I had him come on Still Pretty and be my special guest when we talked about Amends, because I loved the work that he did with that so much. But Into the Woods, as terrible as that episode is, like when Ian was making the thing and he was coming up with all of these ideas, and it ended up being like as long or maybe even a little bit longer than the episode itself. But the thing about Into the Woods is that it wasn't really so much about the episode itself. I mean, clearly it was, but there was so much involved in that process of talking about this episode. And one of the things that Ian and I have talked about a lot is that the really great episodes are really difficult to talk about. You're just like, yeah, it's awesome. What else am I supposed to say about this? And then the really terrible ones give you, there's so much meat on the bone. There's so many things to talk about. There's so much to do. And I have to say, like, you know, we were living together. It was before we got married, but we were living together at the time. And he recorded this is one of the rare episodes that has Ian in the beginning. And I think that's one of the things that I loved about it was that I just like seeing Ian. I just obviously I love this guy. I married him. I like seeing him all the time. So when I see him in the videos, it just gives my little heart a lift. And this is the weirdest thing. Like my cat walked through the back and he put a little, and the cat was out of focus because of the focus of the camera. And then he put a little blurry red arrow following my cat. And there's something about, like, I know this is weird. I'm married to him, but the fangirl part of me was like, oh my God, my cat is in a Passion of the Nerd video, which sounds ridiculous, but that is still the reaction that I have. I'm like, oh my God, that's my cat, even though that's also my husband, right? But yeah, like there's just Into the Woods is one of those videos. There's so many videos, so many like deep philosophical thoughts and all of this stuff, but Into the Woods was so much damn fun, and Ian he just ran with it and just let it go and did every idea that came up, he put into that video. And I think it's a combination of like seeing the end result of the work that he was doing, being there while he was doing it, and just how much fun all of that was. And so there's a lot of things like in his videos, for the last few years that like I have a personal connection to because we've shared a life during this time. So there's pieces of us in all of these videos too, in these little corners and nooks and crannies of the way that he tells the story or things that he decides to talk about. And it's so incredibly wonderful. And I'm so proud that this is my husband, that this is my life, that I get to share that with him. And so, yeah, it's just really I mean, of course, like the body was also, good God, that was such an intense time. And what he did with it was just so beautiful. And I loved the way that he put those personal stories in there. And I know that he was a little nervous about it, and I very much encouraged him to keep the personal stories in there, because every Passion of the Nerd video, it's about the episode of Buffy, but that's just the seed of the discussion. That's just the seed of what's being built is deeply personal and deeply autobiographical for Ian. And I want to see as much of him in those videos as I can. And I think a lot of people feel the same way,
Yeah.
So yeah, Into the Woods.
Ian, you often say that like you don't do reviews, you're more about like what does this mean to me and what does this mean to people in general. Yeah. We've got a few answers from chat here.
By the
Andre
way,
says,
Into the Woods was there's two things that made that video possible. That is the most, and I feel horrible even saying this, but to me that is the most well-made bad episode of the show. And so I think there's a big difference between dunking on Go Fish versus this particular one that was such a climactic, important turn in this relationship, and such a weird misfire in so many specific weird ways. I mean, the section is called Everything Xander Says Is Wrong. Like that one was so strange, but I'm so resistant to going negative, because to me the channel is like celebrating this thing that we all love and care about and all of that. And who the hell am I to the work that these people did and everything that they put out there. So the two things that made that work was I was afraid to go negative because there are people who watch the videos who get upset whenever you criticize anything. And so I wrote that intro, which was
you agonized over that too.
Yeah, which was literally like, just don't. You're not gonna like it. Please, just don't. Go on to the next one. And the other one was switching out the creators for Chuck. Which you now know who Chuck is.
Now I do, yeah.
Which maybe you didn't at the time.
No, I didn't.
But being able to talk about Chuck and Chuck's decisions and all of that sort of freed me up to say what I needed to say about that episode.
Yeah.
And Lani knows I'm not very prone to a rant.
Yeah.
I
mean,
but I think they're so caged that when they hit, it becomes sort of an uncontrollable thing. But anyway, go ahead. Questions from.
Well, it's funny you say that because there's like 3 or 4 people here who have said that Into the Woods is their favorite video. So you did something. But
the
Andre says,
other thing too is it was very important that be there is a hierarchy of necessities for any piece of content, right? And the number one requirement is that the thing before you talk about my feelings and the number one requirement is that it be entertaining, because otherwise why are we here? Like people's time is so valuable. They're giving it to me. At the very least, I better get a laugh, or rather, I mean, more specifically, I better give a laugh. You know, at the very least, I feel like everyone's owed something. And so, like, with Into the Woods, there was a lot to say about that, but it better be funny. Otherwise, it's just a rant for 40 minutes, and that's not fun.
That video was very, very fun. It was really entertaining and really fun. Andre says Lie to Me has got to be my favorite. Trillium says my favorite Passion of the Nerd video, top 10 Buffy or Angel videos to pair with wine and a good cry. Yeah, the top 10s are absolutely phenomenal.
That was the top 10s were like, I knew
for some reason your mic is cutting out on my end, and I can't hear you.
Yeah, it was cutting out on my end too. Can anybody hear it?
Yeah.
Out there? Is it the mic? Oh, Ian's sound is glitching. All right. Yeah. I wasn't sure. I was gonna sit here and just smile and be like, okay, maybe it's just me, and I'm just not hearing.
I was hoping it was gonna fix itself.
Me too.
There you are.
There you are.
Yeah.
I have to change there we go. That should be fixed now. Anyway,
Yep.
I just thought what I can do is add some context. That could be the thing I do here.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, Ian, what's your favorite of the videos? Do you have a favorite?
I mean, I Only Have Eyes for You is, for me, one of the more important ones, even though there's so many of the videos. I mean, God, Lani, we've talked about, I'm going to do supercuts at some point, but in the supercuts, I'm going to use it as an opportunity to do the special editions and fix certain things. There's something that kills me that I left out of the body that was part of the original idea, and it's not in there, and I want to, and it's literally a 5-second clip that the video was supposed to open with, and it's not there. But to me, and so that perpetually lives incomplete. And there's stuff in I Only Have Eyes for You that you know, getting the audio ducking where like there's music behind Buffy, but I was playing music and the editing wasn't perfect. But that one to me, because it was such a moment of clarity of like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Oh, the other one is Fear Itself. The bit at the end of Fear Itself where I talk about anxiety is anxiety cooks most readily in the space between two choices, to jump off the high dive or to leave the high dive. Once you make the decision to do those things, you're in action, you're in motion, and the anxiety ceases to serve a purpose. But that fear is just the space before you make the decision or before you make the choice. And again, that was me figuring out my own anxiety. That was me looking at the idea of the video and or the story, and sort of thinking about my own life and going like, oh, damn it.
So that sort of speaks to a question I've seen quite a lot in chat here, and it's that if you could redo a video, if you could, what would you redo? Is it those that you mentioned, or is there?
Well, no, there are those are just edits that I would clean up.
Okay.
Maybe Surprise and Innocence.
Okay. Really? Okay. Those are great videos, though.
They're okay. The you know.
Of course, they're just okay.
Yeah.
I hate the soul canon is like the least important part of why we're all here.
I just love that it's become such a big meme on the channel.
It's so easy to get bogged down in the minutia of how the soul works and why does it work that way and all of that. And to me, like I think you have to make peace with it or sort of find out where you lie at. But once I did, I was done. Once I did, I was like, okay, I'm good. And there are certain things, whether you're Seed of Identity or Conscience, there are certain stories then that you have to parse out. Why did it work this way if it's the Conscience and so forth? But anyway, in Surprise and Innocence, I did the soul residue theory. I can't remember what it was called. It was my first time trying to attack the question of the soul and the problem of it and all of that, which I later refined, I think it may be in the amends video, into the template model of vampirism. The template, the human provides the template for the demon that takes them over, and that explains the difference between all of them. But yeah, now going back and watching the soul residue theory, I'm like, ugh. I don't like that bit. That's probably the only bit that I can think of that I'm like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. There are errors and edits I don't like, but that's one of the only ones. And I would just cut it because I
just get rid of it.
Landed on something that worked for me better later on down the line.
All right. Well, I think we are just about ready to wrap up here. But thank you so much to everyone for coming back time and time again to be part of this discussion and part of this community. It really is an incredible community. I'm honored to be a part of it. And Ian, I mean, my God, 10 years. Amazing work. I'm so incredibly proud of you and the work that you do. And I'm so honored that I get to see these incredible videos that I'm such a fan of be made. It's a wonderful experience. So I love you. You're incredible and great job.
Thank you.
All of that. I mean, what else can I say? Like Lani just said it all. So yeah.
I love you both too. Let me before we
there's lots of questions.
Yeah, there's lots of questions. Okay. Let me move these over here.
Sorry guys, we didn't get to a lot of stuff, but we're gonna try to now.
Give me 1 second. We'll do these first of all. Fan or donations.
The dance of capitalist superiority. The dance of capitalist superiority.
Twice, sorry. What are you guys on permanent vacation? No, we're just having a party. Thank you, Dan, for the donation. Yozora Hart, incredible to think it's been 10 years. I've laughed, cried, and shaken my fist at the screen. Eternal Sunshine is my all-time favorite film, thanks to your video. Cheers. Thank you, Zora. I don't think about that video very much.
It's a good one though.
So many of them are just the last 5 minutes. that's another weird thing about the some of the videos is like, just watch the last 5 minutes.
There's nothing wrong with that. I always think the ending can elevate everything that came before it though.
Yeah.
So,
Susie, there was some talk about doing most boring editing streams again. Is that still a possibility? Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say how much I don't like being on camera. The editing streams to me are worth it in as much as they help me get content done. Without that, I mean, we don't I know there are ads on the streams and stuff like that, but, and we're very grateful for the donations, but we don't make a lot of money off of the streams. The thing that helps the channel, that grows the channel, are the videos. So, and Patreon. So in as much as as the edit streams have the possibility of making more work, then that would be the thing.
There's even a new thumbnail for the edit streams. Which is kind of cool.
Susie says, "Will I live to watch the Chosen live stream?" Susie, I think the more relevant question is, will I? Cash Moose says, "How did you get started? Was there something before the videos, such as fan sites, where you would talk about Buffy?" No. Two of my closest friends were in the video that Jack edited. My friends Ryan and Carl. I've known Ryan since high school. I've known Carl since college, and could not get them to watch the show. For all the reasons I highlight in Why You Should Watch Buffy. That's why that became the format of the Why You Should Watch videos, was like countering negativity, sort of people throwing out ideas and me saying no. So no, the most I've gotten to talk about the show is through the Patreon community, and obviously everyone on this stream, and the community that we were talking about. Josh's question is, what do you want, Ian? Boris asks, is Firefly still after Angel season 2? Hello, Boris. And yes, that is still the plan, is to finish the Pylea videos and to go on to Firefly season 2, and then circle back around again to Buffy season 6 and Angel season 3. Trillium says, I've missed you guys. Missed you as well. Hi. Jen says, is there an episode analysis video that you would remake? I think we answered that. No, some of them are not good. That's fine. It's or they're a whole video for one joke. But the guide is the video series is sort of as we've talked about, a memoir in and of itself, and I wouldn't change that. Blackhorn Link says, more Angel Guide, please, soon ish.
It's coming.
Trillium says, Lani, Leon, whichever, I ship it. I do too. And Jen perhaps fittingly says, as the final question, when is the next video? When it's done.
When it's done. There's one more here. For some reason, Ray Landenberg couldn't submit a question, but the question is, have you ever entertained the thought of writing your own Buffy book, like Myth, Metaphor, and Morality?
No. And one thing I want to say is, for this kind of thing, is obviously none of this would have happened without Mark Field's book, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Myth, Metaphor, and Morality. Whatever the channel...
one. Well, you can't really say it because of the background.
As some people mentioned in the video, what the channel was for some people, that book was for me. As Jack mentioned, when I finished the show, I realized I had seen something remarkable, that meant a ton to me, and but there were things about it I didn't understand, and that's why I went out and got Mark's book, and Mark has become a friend and a mentor to me over the years, and we're hopefully going to get to record the audiobook version of that book that Jack is holding.
That's going to be a hell of a project, but it looks like it's going to happen.
That is the plan right now. Hopefully next year sometime it was when that would be available. But anyway, I just always need to acknowledge Mark and his generosity. But Mark's book is the reason why there will never be a Passion of the Nerd book, because
it already exists.
It already exists. Yeah. I mean, my first season of the episode guide, at least the first season, is a house built on Mark's foundation. Everything I learned about the show, I began with Mark. So that's why that is the case. I think that's it. Is there any other series you would like to make some commentary? Eventually Star Trek The Next Generation, maybe Avatar The Last Airbender.
You mentioned Veronica Mars at 1.2, right?
Maybe.
Or is that just a show you like?
That's a show I like, yeah. But I see all your kind comments. There's too many to go through and read. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks to everybody who contributed to the video. And
Ronnie Magoo says, I'm a long-time lurker. I was there for that dress-up stream. I think you were dressed as the Wicked Witch. It still haunts me.
The bat nipples! The bat nipples!
In all seriousness, your videos are always a bright spot. Congratulations. Thank you, Ronnie, or Rooney. Yeah. And I'm sorry.
And for those of you, for whatever reason, if you had to drop out or whatnot, the stream will be available for a rewatch. And Ian has said he'll be rewatching to see all your messages and stuff. And sorry if we didn't get to some of you. But yeah,
Harris, thank you for the kind word. I don't think I mentioned it. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, that was amazing.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Lani, for putting this together.
Well, thank you, everybody, for sending in videos, and Jack for editing, and Ian for making this incredible thing that we came here tonight to celebrate. So
let's go to work.
All right, let's go to work, man. Bye.